Taking care of our planet is the fight of our generation. Many young people are passionate about sustainability and environmental consciousness. Unfortunately, not all of our problems can be solved with an Nalgene and a metal straw. One major issue that is often overlooked by the public is waterway management. Whether it's non-native species or overfishing, our aquatic ecosystems are crumbling around us. I've seen firsthand the negative effects of poor management and overfishing. One of my favorite secluded ponds I used to fish growing up became a lot more popular after developers began building near it. But then, within the course of just 4 years of people removing fish from it, it went from a pristine piece of nature to a brown mud hole. Removing native bass from an ecosystem not only hurts the waterway, but also the anglers that fish it. And catch and release is the best solution to this issue. Today I'm going to explain how catch and release benefits both the angler and the environment and why you should practice and support it. So first of all, overfishing is a serious issue. It hurts the environment. And in a quote from a 2019 National Geographic article, it stated that a keystone species is an organism that helps define an entire ecosystem. Without its keystone species, an ecosystem would be dramatically different or cease to exist altogether. Black bass, or also known as largemouth, spotted, and smallmouth bass, are keystone species in their biomes. They are the apex predator of the environments in which they live in, and removing them would cause a trophic cascade. In that same article, Jeannie Evers goes on to state, a trophic cascade describes changes in an ecosystem due to the addition or removal of a predator, and a top-down trophic cascade describes changes from the removal of an ecosystem's top predator. So what happens during a trophic cascade is that smaller species, whether it's plants or animals, their populations explode because there's no predator to keep them in check. And so what would happen if you remove bass from their ecosystem is their prey would eat all of the plants in that body of water, and then dissolved oxygen would drop drastically, killing the rest of the fish and organisms that are in the pond, river, or lake. But how common is this really, you're probably thinking? In Eco Magazine's February 2018 article, it shows that 30% of waters that are commercially fished are overfished and need emergency action. Worse, over 60% of fishing waters are already being fully fished. This means most waters, 90% of places people fish, are either overfished or can't support any more fishing, and there's just not enough fish to go around. Now, this all sounds pretty bad, but how can we fight this? Catch and release can help prevent the negative effects of overfishing. The National Park Service released an online pamphlet about this, saying native fish contribute to nutrient recycling and help maintain an ecosystem's natural processes when they live out their entire life cycle. And catch and release helps to improve native fish population by allowing more fish to remain and reproduce in the ecosystem. This natural cycling keeps the balance in the environment and will prevent the trophic cascade. According to a forum on the popular fishing outfitter Shop Carls, practicing catch and release is one of the best ways to increase your future chances of catching bigger trophy-sized fish. Now, while National Geographic's article shows how it helps the environment, this quote proves that catch and release also benefits the angler. Okay, this all sounds great, I'm sure, but I bet you might be wondering, how can I properly execute this? Catch and release policies can be practiced by following a few easy steps. First, check your state's Department of Natural Resources website. It'll give you a list of native species and guidelines on how to release them safely. These native species should be returned to the waters they came from. And if there is a legal limit on fish that you keep, and if you choose to keep some, consider only keeping what you will eat for one meal instead of maybe a year. Also just think about this next time you're thinking about keeping some fish. If the legal limit is 10 and 100 anglers keep their limit for an entire week, that's 7,000 fish being removed in a week. That's a lot of fish. But some of you also might be thinking, what about people who fish out of necessity to feed themselves? Well, there are non-native species in most waters across the United States, and these are an excellent target for people who are fishing for subsistence. Practicing catch and release with native bass species is the best way to maintain our aquatic ecosystem's health. Overfishing is a serious issue and can be combated with catch and release, and doing so is very easy. I love fishing, being outdoors, and our planet, and want more than anything to protect these passions of mine. I hope I've inspired you to practice catch and release next time you go fishing, or if you don't fish, be an advocate to protect this planet we call home.